Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Hello and welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. It's your stories from your hometown on your community media 5 days a week on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Thank you for joining us on our cable TV channels, on Comcast Channel 15 and on AT&T Channel 99, on our website on civiccentertv.com, as well as on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15 and our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. In addition, you can always take us with you on the radio safely on 89.3 Lakes FM as you're traveling about the community today, both for the Splash Live and later on today for West Bloomfield Laker football as they head out to Utica Eisenhower for their second playoff game of the postseason tonight. Now, as you can now hear, joining me at the absolute perfect time, it is a little bit loud in my place today as I continue to do the show from home at this moment in time. So bear with us today. We will have Dayan doing a little bit more on today's show as we try to avoid much of this sound. Dayan is going to be on the brighter side. It's going to be a little bit warmer, and we're going to actually see some sunshine over the next few days, of course, with the cloud cover still being present in our community.
So today, Tyler, we're going to start off with today. We're going to have a mostly cloudy morning and some intermittent sunshine, but a cloudy evening with highs of 53 degrees and 41 of lows for today. And as we go into Saturday and Sunday, the weather is going to continue to be a little bit on the warmer side, warmer than the previous days that we had this week, with the highs of 53 tomorrow and lows of 40 degrees with a cloudy morning and mostly cloudy evening. And as we go into Sunday, also expected temperatures are going to expect to rise just a little bit more with highs of 55 degrees and 43 degrees for low. It's going to be a mostly cloudy morning. Clouds are going to increase in intensity at around 4 p.m., giving way to a mostly cloudy or a cloudy evening, Tyler, for Sunday. But nevertheless, it's going to be intermittent sunshine for the coming days and for today, with some clouds and some sunshine as well. Temperatures are going to be continue to be on the same rate, not too low, Tyler, the same low temperatures that we expected at the beginning of the week. So it's going to be a very nice coming weekend in West Bloomfield and a very beautiful Friday for today's game.
Yeah, already nice and sunny outside, but we do have some cloud cover coming in and some cloudier news to start off our headlines today. Crooks are continuing to use a dead police officer's name, and now have actually moved on to using simply the police department's name in their phone calls, trying to scam residents in our local area. We have an update from the West Bloomfield Police Department, who sent out further alerts yesterday to the community as this continues to be a problem in recent weeks. Also, Keiko Harbor next week will have a controlled burn at Rose Sorter Park behind Keiko Harbor City Hall. We'll tell you when that's happening and why these controlled burns are happening in our community next week. As we mentioned tonight, the West Bloomfield Lakers varsity football team continues their playoff campaign for the MHSAA Division I Championship. They'll be on the road to take on Utica Eisenhower. We'll tell you about our special coverage of that game and where you can tune in tonight for West Bloomfield versus the Utica Eisenhower Eagles. We've mentioned in past weeks and over the past couple of months, new restaurants going up in Sylvan Lake. We talked recently to Brad Cousins from Live Bait and Guma. Now there's signage going up on Orchard Lake Road right as construction is coming to a close, so they'll have a much easier time finding two new fan favorites in Sylvan Lake. Over the weekend, the continued production of Clue at West Bloomfield High School will continue tonight, and on Saturday we'll give you the times as well as ticketing information for those shows. Later on, Sonia Salman will join us from Bright Behavior Therapy to talk about autism awareness in schools with Dayan Chaaban. We'll tell you a little bit later on about how you can continue to vote early in anticipation of next week's local elections over the weekend. Plus, as we get into the holiday season and those who have struggled with substance use or substance abuse in the past or are currently struggling may struggle a little bit more given these times of the year. Community Save a Life boxes are spread all throughout our local community. We'll tell you what are in some of those boxes, as well as the locations you can find them all throughout the community at public and in other places in the greater West Bloomfield area. Plenty more of your stories from your hometown on your community media coming up next. Stay with us. The Splash Live continues after this short break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Take a break and tune in to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join Tyler Kieft and Dayan Chaaban as they go through headlines, events, and update you on the day-to-day in Oakland County. Catch us live weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community media, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Our top story today comes from the West Bloomfield Police Department. We've told you about this in the past couple of weeks. It's been so far a story where scam artists are trying to take your hard-earned money over the phone by convincing you that there's an urgent matter from the West Bloomfield Police Department. And so far, they have generally been disguising themselves as Sergeant Tom Kellman, who had passed away in February of 2019, but was apparently calling you on behalf of the local police department and telling you that you had owed money or faced possibly impossible arrest in the community. That has now been updated over the past several days. The West Bloomfield Police Department has received even more phone calls regarding this urgent matter in our community, mentioning now that these phone scammers are spoofing their number, putting the caller ID down as being the West Bloomfield Police Department and telling you that you owe money to the police department. They actually posted, Calvin, we can put up the picture that they posted on their Facebook page saying, "Be advised, we are receiving numerous calls about individuals posing as WBPD officers demanding money over the phone. These spoofed phone calls show our phone number on the caller ID. We will never demand payment on the phone or online." So again, they're mentioning that now these spoofed phone numbers are calling you, trying to scam you out of your money, demanding money over the phone, whether it's through gift cards or wire transfer, or you just giving them your bank information for them to input one way or the other to get this supposed payment that you that you owe them. The West Bloomfield Police Department posting this message on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD yesterday. They also sent out notes over Nixle, which is a local alerts service that's provided via text message and email in our local community, mentioning this to the community. They sent 2 messages out yesterday with this exact same wording on here. And so if you have any information on these scam artists, or you do get a call from them yourself, you are encouraged to call the non-emergency number for the West Bloomfield Police Department to report that. It is 248-975-9200, 248-975-9200. And Diane, important to take as many steps as you can to protect your personal information, whether you're getting a phone call from someone that you know or someone that or what seems to be from a trusted resource.
That is true, Tyler. And we always say this: we have to be extra vigilant with these scammers and have these attention to detail, if I must say, Tyler. We must know that the West Bloomfield Police Department, or any department in that case, is not gonna call you and ask you for money if you have anything, right? If they want you, they will actually call you to the department, and you will go there and see what is going on. They will not ask you for money. They will not ask you for a gift card. That's very unlikely for a police officer to ask for a gift card or for any number or for any personal information through the phone. Neither will any governmental organization. They will not call and ask. They will usually mail. And if you just want to make sure, you can call them or visit your local police department and ask them if they truly called you asking for any information or for money or for any other thing these scams are asking you to do on the phone. So we must be extra careful. As you said, Tyler, our personal information is ours only. We must not give it out. We must be careful with where we put our personal information online. We must make sure that any website or because sometimes they are connected. These websites are connected to scammers directory, and this is where they get your phone numbers from. So we have to be very careful. Even when people come in, even if it's your close relative, they must not know your social security number or any of your payment details. Anything that is personal to you must remain personal to you, unless otherwise some legitimate source asks you to give them out any personal information. So make sure you be extra vigilant. There's a lot of scammers, and they are using AI for it, so it's getting a little bit more difficult to identify these scammers.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to identify when it's a scam versus when it's legitimate. So if you have any concern, or if someone's asking for your personal information, as Dayan said, it's best to hang up that phone call and simply call the resource that they're claiming to be. If it's the West Bloomfield Police Department, hang up your phone, call their non-emergency number, which we'll give out again to you, 248-975-9200, 248-975-9200, and ask them about it directly to be able to confirm that information. And as Dayan said, it's better to make a trip down to your local police department in person and ask them about this alleged situation you've been told about over the phone, and be told that there's nothing going on there, it's a scam, and you avoided being scammed, than to go through with whatever is being demanded of you over the phone in that case, and potentially put your information at risk, either for just simple theft of your hard-earned money, or worse off, that and your identity being stolen or sold to someone else to use for even more disruptive purposes in your life down the road. Next week in Keego Harbor, expect some smoke in the area on Wednesday, November 8th, or on Thursday, November 9th, if there is inclement weather on Wednesday, as the Keego Harbor City Hall and the West Bloomfield Fire Department will be engaging in a controlled burn in the pond at Rose Sorter Park behind City Hall in the city of Keego Harbor. They are advising smoke will be throughout the nearby area in that afternoon, but the controlled burn does come with a purpose, as they're trying to remove some invasive species in that area, specifically those that are continuing to have an impact on the pond at Rose Sorter Park, Dayan. So although you are going to see some smoke in the local area, you don't have a reason to be alarmed at that time. Again, it's going to be Wednesday, November 8th at 12:30 p.m. just behind City Hall in Keego Harbor.
Tyler, I must say that burning is usually used for ecological maintenance, especially controlled burning. They are killing off these invasive species and allowing to regrow some helpful species that help create oxygen and take in carbon dioxide, and beautiful plants as well in our trails and in our community. But for people who are allergic, or for people who have some breathing issues, it's best to stay away from this particular area. Make sure that you are away, you don't breathe it in, and it's just normal. It happens, and they should do it. So we're very thankful for everything that they're doing in our community to maintain our nature as well, to maintain our ecological balance.
And safety protocols are going to be put in place. There will be a stop of that controlled burn at the sidewalk, at the roadway, just beyond the pond at Rose Sorter Park, so that doesn't go burn out of control. Of course, the West Bloomfield Fire Department is going to be spearheading this controlled burn in the community, so they will be on top of that also. But Dayan, you mentioned for those that may have respiratory issues and the smoke could be problematic, to avoid the area, but also if you live nearby, if you live on that same street or in the a couple blocks around Kego Harbor City Hall, it may be best to have your windows shut and locked on that day. And if your ventilation systems, if your air conditioning or heating systems can be placed on recirculate, that would also be good advice for you in the local area, so that it's recirculating the air that's already in your home instead of bringing air in from outside and either heating that or cooling your home in that way, which could bring in some of those fumes into your home even from nearby and trigger those respiratory issues. So good advice, Diane, on that as well. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, the West Bloomfield Lakers football team continues their MHSAA Division I championship campaign tonight. Plus, new signs going up at local restaurants and a big show happening over the weekend at West Bloomfield High School. More of your stories from your hometown on your community media coming up next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. Your West Bloomfield Lakers football team is back in the playoffs. Join us for live coverage of all postseason on the West Bloomfield School District's TV channel, WBTV, Comcast Channel 19, and AT&T Channel 99. All Lakers all the way to Ford Field. Laker playoff football exclusively on WBTV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. It's your stories from your hometown on your community media, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. The West Bloomfield Lakers defeated the Rochester Adams Highlanders 1 week ago tonight in the MHSAA Division I Region 3 District 2 semifinals at home at West Bloomfield High School by a score of 42-14, which means the Lakers continue their championship campaign and the first championship potentially on their way tonight. The District 2 championship matchup between the West Bloomfield Lakers and the Utica Eisenhower Eagles in Region number 3 will happen tonight. Kickoff at 7 o'clock at Utica Eisenhower's home stadium, Swinehart Field, just across the street from Utica High School in Shelby. Now, due to the MHSAA regulations, they're going to have the TV and the streaming broadcast exclusively from the home team's broadcast. That's Shelby TV will be providing broadcast of the game on their local TV channels as well as on the NFHS network on the video side, but you can still get your home broadcast as you have all throughout the season, sans the Lake Orion game earlier on this year on 89.3 Lakes FM. And we're going to kind of have a little bit of a throwback to past playoff football situations on our broadcast. Dave Scott and I will be on the call tonight, as we have been for several years past. Matt Gattoni will have the week off as the Lakers hit the road to go to Utica Eisenhower to take on the Eagles tonight. Our coverage will begin at about 6:30, a little bit before maybe with This Week in Laker Football, the Laker pregame show at about 6:45 or 6:50 with kickoff happening at 7 o'clock. And if you don't have your radio with you or you're out of range of 89.3 Lakes FM, we know a lot of families of these players and extended families also want to tune in. You'll also be able to tune into the game on Civic Center TV and on WBTV with an audio simulcast on our TV channels as well as on our website on civiccentertv.com, on our Lakers sports page and on our Watch Live page. Just tune in on civiccentertv.com or better yet on your radios on 89.3 Lakes FM. Again, our coverage beginning at about 6:30, and if you stay tuned to our social media, facebook.com at Civic Center TV 15, Instagram and Twitter at Civic Center TV. More information on this and reminders, such as what you're seeing on your screen right now on civiccentertv.com, will be posted throughout the afternoon. To remind you of our broadcast tonight, Dave Scott on the color commentary, myself on play-by-play tonight as the West Bloomfield Lakers head out to Utica Eisenhower. They are 9-1, the Eisenhower Eagles. West Bloomfield is 8-2. But here's one of the interesting stats, and you'll definitely hear me mention this tonight on our broadcast also. The Utica Eisenhower Eagles, in the 12 years that they have been coached by Chris Smith, they have played 18 playoff games. 9 of those playoff games they've won. 9 of those they've lost. 8 of those playoff games have been at home. Their record in playoff games while at home is 7-1, and that lone loss that they've had over the past 12 years at home in the playoffs came way back in 2017 in a 25-28 loss to none other than the West Bloomfield Lakers. So they're hoping to strike gold twice in Utica and shut down a team that's been very good at home in the playoffs over the past decade plus, and that all begins tonight at 7 o'clock. Down the road from us in Sylvan Lake, Live Bait and Guma, 2 new restaurants at the Old Pepinos and Lodge Bar and Grill locations at their original spots in Sylvan Lake, now have their signage up and ready to go. So a little bit less of a speakeasy environment over there without the signage. Now you know exactly where you're going if you're looking for Live Bait for some good old-fashioned seafood or Guma for some Italian favorites, especially pizza in Sylvan Lake. The new signage going up and looking fantastic from the road. Definitely fits the ambiance of Live Bait, and Guma definitely fits with that as well. These restaurants right next to each other. Great story behind them, Dayan, as we had a chance a few weeks ago to talk to Brad Cousins, who owns these 2 restaurants, as well as El Camino down the road in Kegel Harbor, a Mexican cuisine restaurant, and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu also in Kegel Harbor. I had a chance to talk to him a few weeks ago about these 2 new restaurants, and glad to see that signage now up so people can head over there on Orchard Lake Road at the Old Pepinos location and enjoy some new restaurants here in our local area.
That is true, Tyler. And he did mention something about, he did mention the backstory to how they got this restaurant and what it means to him personally as a restaurant owner to open in West Bloomfield area, in his favorite childhood area, and to come back to it and allow people in our community to enjoy this food. He also mentioned about, you also talked to him about how it's a very unique concept in which he is joining 2 different restaurant concepts all in one with a beautiful ambience. We saw a lot of pictures from Live Bait and Guma. It has this beautiful ambience. It's 2 different restaurants, as I mentioned earlier, 2 different designs as well, all in one place. So you're not only enjoying the food experience, Tyler, you're also enjoying this wonderful, huge place, if I must say. It looks like a very big restaurant. And there's a lot there. There's a lot to order from. So great experience.
Yeah, great choices there also, as Diane had said, and a great experience. We talked to Brad about the ambiance also and some of the design elements that went into it, including bringing in some old artifacts from Detroit courthouses and from in the local area also. And a great story about how they got the pizza oven into that restaurant too. And we saw some pictures of how they installed that when we talked to him just a little while ago on the Splash Live. That interview with Brad Cousins is on our website right now, civiccentertv.com, on our on-demand page to learn even more about Live Bait and Guma. What's even better, no more traffic on Orchard Lake Road with that construction coming effectively to the close of the delays, at least, on late Saturday afternoon in Keego Harbor and in Sylvan Lake. Over at West Bloomfield High School, just a little ways down the road on Orchard Lake Road, the production of Clue in their theater department continues this weekend. They had their first show on Wednesday of this week, their second show last night at 7 o'clock, and they continue to have 7 p.m. shows both Friday night and on Saturday at West Bloomfield High School. You can join them by showing up to West Bloomfield High School a little ways before 7 o'clock. General admission into Clue is $10. Students and senior citizens get in for just $5. And if you are a West Bloomfield School District staff member, you get 2 free tickets to the show. And Gold Card members of the theater department, they get in free to every show all season long. You can learn more about becoming a Gold Card member of the theater department at West Bloomfield High School if you show up tonight to see Clue, as we get some more pictures that have recently been posted by West Bloomfield High School's theater department as they had prepared for this play and as they continue to put on the production at West Bloomfield High School. Diane, a really interesting show that's going to be very character driven, and these students have been hard at work for months getting ready for this show, really since the beginning of the school year, and coming to a close this weekend. But still, 2 more shows, Friday night tonight, 7 o'clock, as well as Saturday at 7 o'clock for the grand finale.
That is true, Tyler. We have been following this story for a while now, before the actual play came out. We are very proud of our theater students, first of all, and we should support them. We should go and attend these wonderful theatrical plays that they are currently doing. It's also, Tyler, we also mentioned a few days ago how creative it is and how they are trying to integrate some technology. It's definitely a different concept. It's definitely a different type of plays that we didn't see before. So they're always creating new ways, innovative ways to integrate their viewers, if I must say, and that's something incredible from our students and from our high school students. So we are very proud of them. I hope more people will go ahead and watch these wonderful plays. It's definitely so much fun. We have seen a lot of pictures, a lot of happy faces. Previously, they did invite the younger students previously to watch them, and they looked like they really enjoyed it, Tyler.
Yeah, those younger students got to look at the technology side also. The robotics and the first robotics and Lego team from the elementary side in the school district, they got a chance to go and take a look at the behind the scenes elements of the show earlier on this week, and we talked about that earlier this week in the show happening over the weekend. But it's a character-driven show. Clue is a character-driven board game that this theater production is based off of, and actors love to dive into these characters and play out what they do in depth, and have that variety that goes into playing a character, and Clue definitely gives them that variety. So it's going to be a different show every single time you go and see that. So even if you go see it on Friday night and you enjoy it enough, go back and see it again on Saturday and support our local theater students at West Bloomfield High School. More information can be found on wbsd.org or by visiting the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, Dayan Chaaban will be joined by Sonia, Salman, the founder of one of the founders of Bright Behavior Therapy, to talk about raising awareness for autism in our schools. How does the modern school district environment affect students who are on the autism spectrum, and what can we do both as students, as teachers, as faculty, and as parents in the local school district to create a more supportive environment and productive environment for our students that are on the autism spectrum? More of your stories from your hometown on your community media up next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Your West football team is back in the playoffs. Join us for live coverage of all postseason on the West Bloomfield School District's TV channel, WBTV, Comcast Channel 19, and AT&T Channel 99. All offseason, all Lakers, all the way to Ford Field. Laker playoff football, exclusive on WBTV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. Your stories from your hometown on your community television, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. So, Bright Behavior Therapy is a renowned organization that offers personalized therapy for children diagnosed with autism. With a dedicated team and a commitment to individualized care, they strive to create a better future for every child, regardless of what they are diagnosed with. And recently they opened a new branch in the West Bloomfield area, and they received recognition from the Chamber of Commerce with a very cute little post saying that it is a very bright idea to attend Bright Behaviors Therapy's opening ceremony. Today we have behavior specialist and clinic manager at Bright Behavior Therapy, Sonia, Salman, to tell us all about their great work that they do at Bright Behavior Therapy and their experience opening in the West Bloomfield area. Sonia, thank you for joining us today and welcome to West Bloomfield.
Hi, Dayan. Thank you for having me today. It's great to be here.
We are very glad to have you here today. Sonia, can you please tell us a little bit more about your opening first before we delve into more about your organization and the clinic and how you help the children? Tell us about the opening and this experience in West Bloomfield.
Yes, it was a great turnout. We had a lot of family members, a lot of parents coming and joining us, and a lot of families that actually came from our Dearborn location. So it was really nice to see the turnout, the support. You know, it was just amazing to see the outcome. We had refreshments, we gave tours. Actually, Goldfish Swim School came out. We're partnering with them as well. And it was just really nice to see the support from the community.
Well, we are very glad to have you here, and you have all our support. West Bloomfield, as we always say, is a very beautiful and diverse area, and we wish you the best here, and we are very glad to have you helping our children in West Bloomfield as well. We understand that this is your 4th branch, which means that you are very successful at what you do. Sonia, can we delve a little bit more into Bright Behavior Therapy? Can you tell us what exactly you do and how you have helped families so far with the autistic diagnosis journey?
So Bright Behavior Therapy specializes in applied behavior analysis, which is an evidence-based treatment for children with autism. We specialize in early intervention. Our treatment is focused on individual treatment. We have behavior analysts that work on creating a treatment plan, and we have registered behavior technicians that work on implementing that treatment. We work on skills development, behavior management, reducing inappropriate behavior, increasing more appropriate behavior. We've helped families from the beginning. So we've started with just the initial diagnosis, referring them out to specific locations to get an autism evaluation. A lot of families don't even know where to start once a pediatrician tells them that, hey, your child might have autism. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to speak to. So we're here to help with that aspect as well. It's not just therapy. We're here for the parents as well.
That's very great, Sonia. And we do understand that applied behavior analysis therapy is a personalized care. Can you please tell us a little bit more about how you tailor those needs to each and every specific child, and how does this happen? How does the diagnosis process happen, and how does each autistic child differ from the other?
So once a diagnosis happens, the parents come back to us for an assessment. We do an assessment, and the assessment is where we weigh in options with the parents and ask them what they believe is more important to them. Some families might say, I want my child to speak, right? So we work on the verbal behavior approach, which is our main focus here at Bright, early intervention, verbal behavior approach. We help personalize the treatment plan. We work with the parents, we work with the schools, we work with the daycares, really just making sure that it's a all collaborative intervention. Once we get the treatment plan going, then we work individually one-on-one. The RBT works with the child and implementing the treatment.
So Sonia, we saw, if anybody can, if people, whoever is hearing us now, you can visit Bright Behavior Therapy's website at brightbehaviortherapy.com, and you will see their About Us page. There's a sentence that really caught my eye, and it mentions about how you help families during this challenging times, which is the diagnosis, the beginning of it. Can you tell us a little bit, or can you give us just like an example or a success story of these challenging times and how you helped this particular person or family to overcome these challenging times, as you mentioned on your website?
Yeah, so unfortunately, doctors will throw out a comment, pediatricians will throw out a comment to the parents, letting them know, hey, I believe your child needs to get an autism evaluation. That's the first time the parents ever hear autism come out of a doctor's mouth in reference to their child. So they don't know where to go. And so my goal here is to let families know that I can be that gateway, that segment between not knowing where to go. They go online and it's a bunch of jargon and a lot of maybe this, maybe that. So what happens is they end up on a waiting list to get an evaluation. I have a lot of friends in the community that are psychologists that help push through this evaluation, get it going faster, get on multiple wait lists. And a lot of insurances require to be on an AAEC site, which is a specific location where they want them to have a diagnosis through that specific center. And that wait list might take up to 8 months. So what I've seen in the past is these parents are just waiting on an 8-month wait list. And during that time, we can do what's called a bridge coverage. So we can get them services for ABA therapy while they're on this wait list. So we get an ADOS completed, which is an autism evaluation, get a diagnosis, start therapy, and then while they're waiting for that more comprehensive evaluation to happen. So during that 8-month wait time, you're not actually waiting, you're getting therapy, you're getting the help. Early intervention is key. So a lot of these family members that I've helped out in the past actually have had major progress before they even actually get their full autism evaluation diagnosis going.
So I believe this is what sets Bright Behavior Therapy apart from just any other probably organization, or just having just a pure diagnosis from a doctor. You do, as you mentioned on your website, you do personalized care, and this is what you mean by personalized, is taking care and supporting these families psychologically and emotionally and walking them through the whole process, not just telling them your child might have something or just autism without anything, without telling them exactly what it truly is. And we do understand that the internet is a very scary place for even normal diagnosis. So we are very thankful for helping our future generation and these children have a better future. And these families, if I must say, helping these families reduce the ambiguity of what autism is truly it truly is. Sonia, can you tell us a little bit more about what are the future goals for Bright Behavior Therapy in West Bloomfield and in other branches, and how do you suppose you will integrate more research and science-based evidence into Bright Behavior Therapy?
Yeah, we're looking to expand, touch more families. We're continuously looking for effective treatment, continuing our education, being on the forefront of getting the proper treatment and therapy. We're here to help support the families. We are constantly trying to reach out to family members that don't even know we exist right now. So that's part of this interview. We would love to be part of, we're working with a Goldfish Swim School, which is actually down the street from us, on getting classes set up for kids with autism specifically. So those classes will help. We're expanding to help support families with even as minimal as getting a haircut and going to the dentist. We want to be part of every aspect for these families and ease any part that they find difficult.
Sonia, we do understand that you also play a role in raising autism awareness in schools and in groups and other organizations. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And I happened to see some of your videos educating some school students about what autism is, and you also mentioned something about how you interact with autistic child. You also have a blog about that. Can you please tell us a little bit about your awareness, autism awareness role?
So where I try to integrate autism awareness in the schools is inclusivity. Once our child ages out of our specific therapy, we send them to school. We collaborate with the schools. We attend IEP meetings. We are currently training Dearborn Public Schools. Oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. The name of paraprofessionals. We're working with paraprofessionals to train them to be able to handle behaviors, what to look for, how to gain independence in the school setting. So this is where we're trying to raise awareness in the classroom, awareness in the schools, and working with Goldfish Swim School also to gain awareness through, inclusivity as well. We're working to include all of these children in the community to be part of day-to-day living.
Well, we are very thankful for what you do. Again, for anybody who wants any helpful tip for interacting with autistic child and for what Sonia called creating a more inclusive environment for children with autism, you can always check out their social media at Bright Behavior Therapy on both Facebook and Instagram. So it's at Bright Behavior Therapy. And you can also check out their website, www.brightbehaviortherapy.com. They have a blog posts every once in a while that talks a little bit more about how to create a more inclusive environment, as Sonia mentioned, for children with autism and what autism is and how to interact with children with autism. So many research-backed information on there, amazing information. I really urge everybody to go ahead and read these incredible blog posts. Sonia, thank you so much for being with us today. And just as a final word, Sonia, what do you say with for families that has just noticed or just found out that their child is diagnosed with autism?
First and foremost, it's essential to remember that you are not alone. There are family support groups out there, parent groups. Early intervention is key. Consult with a professional psychologist. Make sure you are advocating for your child and gain as much knowledge as possible. Parents, you guys are the voice of these children. It's very important to know that you should be advocating for your child to receive the best service, whether it's at Bright or anywhere. Make sure you are gaining as much training as possible. We focus on parent training heavily, and that's because you guys are mostly around You guys are the ones that are spending the most time around your children. So that's very important. Connecting with support groups, knowing that you're not alone, visiting multiple centers, making sure you find the most appropriate center for your child. That's what I have to say. And I really appreciate being on this show today. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us here on the Splash Live. And again, welcome to the West Bloomfield area, Sonia, and everybody who works at Bright Behavior Therapy. Thank you.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
So we'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty more of your news and your stories from your hometown on your community television and Lakes FM 89.3. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Take a break and tune in to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join Tyler Kieft and Dayan Chaaban as they go through headlines, events, and update you on the day-to-day in Oakland County. Catch us live weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. It's your stories from your hometown on your community media 5 days a week on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. You got a few more days to vote early in advance of next week Tuesday's elections in West Bloomfield, Keagle Harbor, and in Orchard Lake Village. Early voting continues today, 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., as well as 8:30 to 4:30 on both Saturday and Sunday in West Bloomfield Township, Keagle Harbor, and in Orchard Lake Village. Now, there are two places you can vote. You can either go to your local city or township hall in West Bloomfield. That's, of course, West Bloomfield Town Hall on Walnut Lake Road. In Keagle Harbor, that's Keagle Harbor City Hall on Beachmont, just past Roosevelt Elementary School and over by Gino's Pizzeria in Keagle Harbor. And in Orchard Lake, that's at the corner of Orchard Lake and Long Lake Road at Orchard Lake City Hall. In addition, you can also go to the central site for early voting in Oakland County, which is Waterford Oaks Activity Center at 2800 Watkins Lake Road in Waterford. Now, you're going to need to have your voter registration card and some ID with you in order to submit your votes early, but this has been something that's now in place 9 days prior to the proper election day for in-person early voting to get your votes submitted to your local community. They'll be tabulated on the day of the election after 8 p.m. as all other votes are at that same time, alongside absentee ballots also on that same day. But you get your vote in, you get it in early, you take care of it, and you don't have to worry about going to the polls during the specific times on election day. So again, go to your local city hall or go to the central site at Waterford Oaks Activity Center in order to vote early Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 8:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Otherwise, you'll have to go during the regular hours on election day. Now, if you have questions about early voting, whether or not you're eligible for early voting in West Bloomfield Township, I know in West Bloomfield, what's on the ballot is specifically a bond initiative from the Bloomfield Hills School District. So those that are in the Bloomfield Hills School District will be able to vote on that initiative, and those who are not in the Bloomfield Hills School District would not then vote on that item at all. So there may not be a reason for you to go to the polls to vote altogether. But the best place to ask questions about your eligibility or what is on your ballot is to contact the local clerk's office. So for those of you in West Bloomfield Township, call Debbie Binder and the clerk's office at 248-451-4848. 248-451-4848 for more information. If you're in the city of Keiko Harbor, you can call their city hall and ask to either speak with Tammy Neeb, their city clerk and city manager, or Stacy Goodall, who is their deputy clerk, at 248-682-1930. And then in the city of Orchard Lake Village, you can contact their clerk's department and ask to speak to city clerk Rhonda McClellan at 248-682-2400. 248-682-2400. Diane, an opportunity for people to get their voting out of the way and not have to go to the polls on election day, but they still are able to go to the polls on election day if they do not vote either by absentee or they haven't voted by early vote this week.
That is true, Tyler. So it does truly increase voting participation if you do early voting. We understand that some people may have commitments during election day. So this is a great way to make sure that everybody in our community gets their votes casted before election day or on election day. And it also allows more time for people to get educated on what they're voting on, if they actually want to vote. You mentioned, Tyler, we have been talking about this for over a week now. There is a new marijuana policy that people are going to be voting on, and several other stuff, so people can get educated during this voting period or before election day, so it gives them good enough time to know what they're voting for and to get their votes in and to avoid all this election day chaos and just get their votes in as early as possible. So a great initiative by our community leaders to allow everybody to get their votes in before election day or on election day.
Yeah, and again, you can find more information on your city's websites as well. For West Bloomfield, it's wbtownship.org. For Keiko Harbor, it is keikoharbor.org. And for Orchard Lake Village, that is cityoforchardlake.com for more information, including how to see your sample ballot and your eligibility to vote, or to get more information on elections in our local area from your local clerk's office. All of those can be found online as well. As we have now gone through the Halloween season, and now we're into approaching the November Thanksgiving season, and then the holidays in December and through the end of the year. This is the time of the year where we see a lot of people who have or are currently struggling with substance use or abuse disorders really struggle with their relationship with substances and with their mental health as well. And so all the more reason for us to help you in the community understand the harm reduction tools that are in place all throughout the greater West Bloomfield community. And among the resources are these Save a Life boxes that have been put out throughout the community by the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities in partnership with West Bloomfield Township, the city of Keiko Harbor, the city of Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, as well as other partners in the community such as the library, West Bloomfield Township, West Bloomfield Parks, our police and fire departments, and the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition. On your screen on CivicCenterTV.com, you're seeing some of the locations just in West Bloomfield where these Save a Life boxes are located. There's also locations in Keiko Harbor, such as at Keiko Harbor City Hall, and other specific locations throughout the four communities too, in non-public necessary buildings throughout the community. I know in West Bloomfield Township at the a Powerhouse Gym location on Pontiac Trail, that there is a Save a Life box right outside of that location. That's recently been put in there. So the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities, they are expanding the reach of these Save a Life boxes throughout the local area. What they include, you can also see this on your screen, but for those listening on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM, these Save a Life boxes include Narcan, fentanyl testing strips, a Deterra med disposal bag, for needles, resources for substance use disorders, and mental health all throughout our local area. And you can find these Save a Life boxes at other various locations as well. Fire stations 1 through 5 and fire station number 9 through the West Bloomfield Fire Department, as well as both the main and the West Acres branch of the West Bloomfield Library, at the Recreation Activity Center, and at West Bloomfield Town Hall in West Bloomfield Township. There also is one at Keego Harbor City Hall as well. And more information on these Save a Life boxes can be found on the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities website at achcmi.org. And Dayan, they make a big impact on having these resources in our community, so that if you are around someone that may be experiencing an overdose in one of those local areas, you know where you can go to quickly to get some of those life-saving resources, or at the very least have some of those life-saving resources with you on your person from those Save a Life boxes, which are consistently being restocked as well.
Tyler, it is a great initiative from the Alliance of Health and Coalition, alongside the WB Parks and several organizations in our community that came together to provide these Save a Life boxes. We understand that people must understand that when we mean drug use, we don't necessarily mean the stuff that we get in the black market. Some people are actually addicted to prescription medication that they have been prescribed to once, some opioids that they have been prescribed to by doctors. So some people do have a problem with these addictions, and it is a problem. We must also mention that the funding for these Save a Life boxes came after our township. They filed for they got money after a lawsuit has been filed for some of these drug companies that cause addiction in a lot of people in our community. So it's a great initiative for them to start with. It's a great way to use these funds that they gained through this lawsuit to help these actual individuals that have been affected. So we are very thankful for this initiative, and for anybody who needs also he needs help, they do provide some resources. We can always call them up, and the Health Alliance and Coalition, you can call them and seek resources, seek help before these drug addiction happens actually.
Yeah, achcmi.org for more information from the Alliance of Coalitions for Healthy Communities. Some fun events come up during the holiday season. Mark your calendars for about a month down the road at the Lodge Grill and Bar in Keego Harbor, a fan favorite event across our local area, as Killer Cares will be returning to the Lodge on December 8th. That's Friday night, beginning at about 4 o'clock. 50-50 drawings, a live silent auction, great prizes, as well as a lot of the top media celebrities from across the Detroit area out there to support a good cause. And among the causes that are being supported in our local area include Team Joseph, which is battling Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which was something that Tom Kowalski, who this event is held in a loving memory of, was very much an advocate for battling. Our Children's Fund is also going to get some benefit from this. That supplies school necessity and financial resources and support the kids in the West Bloomfield School District. Defeat the Label, a local bullying awareness and anti-bullying advocacy organization that was originated in West Bloomfield, also going to receive benefit. And then the Downtown Boxing Gym, which supports educational enrichment for kids in Detroit through boxing, also going to be supported. You can show your support and get more information on killercares.org or by sending an email to killercares@gmail.com. killercares@gmail.com. And again, that's going to be at the Lodge Grill and Bar in Keego Harbor on December 8th. That is on Orchard Lake Road, just past Cass Lake Road on the left side of the road. If you're approaching from the Orchard Lake Road side, just before Cass Lake, heading west to east, it's going to be on the left side. Heading east to west, it'll be on the right side at the Lodge Grill and Bar. Also coming up later on this month, about a week away, Friday, November 10th at 8:30 a.m. at All Seasons of West Bloomfield on Drake Road. Connect with West Bloomfield Chamber members and others within the local business community for some collaboration, building relationships, partnerships, and learning about our local business community as well. It is an event that is free to Chamber members, $10 for non-members, and you can register now by sending an email to wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com or calling Suzanne Levine and the team at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce at 248-626-3636, 248-626-3636. 836. In addition, the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce is looking for more businesses in our local area to host these Cup of Connections events in 2024. Again, if you want to have your business host some of these events going into the new year, wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.org is the email address to contact the team at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce about these opportunities and learn more about joining the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Plenty more of your stories from your hometown on your community media all week long, each and every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, the latest stories from across the Greater West Bloomfield community. Stay with us. The Splash Live will return very soon.